Hey guys, Sri Lanka Sammi. Welcome to today's vlog, talking about how I work remote. How do I do it today in 2022, September 2022? I'm in Sri Lanka. I work in South Korea. How do I do it? Well, very easy for me. I'm going to talk to you about how you can do it too. Hey guys, so I am just out on a walkabout. I made another video. If you follow my channel, which I do appreciate and thank you for, like, share, comment, and subscribe. Check out my new Discord server, my public Discord server where you can join and communicate with me directly. I know, there's Facebook, there's Instagram, there's even YouTube, but live chatting and, chat rooms and things like that where we can discuss stuff and just interact with each other, I think would be really fun. Because one of the things I really enjoy doing is interacting with you, the people who are actually watching my videos, and doing it in the YouTube comment section is, I read every comment, I answer every single comment, but sometimes that gets a little bit too much, and not everyone reads the comments. But if you are, actually interested in joining the server, the link will be in the comments below. Thank you. So, how do I work remote? Well, it is easy for me. Might not be easy for you, but I'm going to give you some tips. Now, there's hundreds of videos out there. Why are you watching mine? Well, I'm talking about my real life experience, and I'm not selling anything. I'm just talking to you about what you can do. So, first of all, it may not be easy for you, but it is really easy for me because, number one, I am a dual citizen and permanent resident. So I'm a Canadian citizen, Sri Lankan citizen, and a Korean permanent resident. So what does that mean? Well, first of all, living in Sri Lanka, I don't have to worry about visa. And that was the number one reason why I left Korea, is because the visas are just so hard. Even my permanent resident, even as a permanent resident, I still have issues. It's not always easy, and it's expensive to live in South Korea. Number two, I am a Sri Lankan citizen. I can live here without a visa. I'm a permanent resident, and I can live here cheap. It is a very, very cheap place to live. For example, according to cost comparison websites, it is 80% cheaper to live in in Colombo or in Sri Lanka than it is in South Korea. Now, it's probably about 95% cheaper for me because I don't pay rent. I pay my parents. I pay them for electricity. I pay them for food. I pay for my own internet. I pay towards the upkeep of the house. I pay for things that happen in the house. So, I have a house. I don't have to worry about that. I pay my own internet. I pay for water. I have water delivered. I pay for the full thing. Even though everybody in the house uses it, but it's something I wanted. I pay for my own private internet. If I need a desk, a chair, or whatever, I pay for those things. So, yeah, my costs are there. What else? So, do I have to cross a wooden bridge? Oh my gosh. Maybe I do. A log bridge, check this out. So the road just ends here, or no, maybe it doesn't. It goes over there, it goes down there, and there's a log bridge right there to cross to the other side. So let me figure out where it is that I have to go, and I'll be right back. So I don't know where I'm going. I'm just going to walk down here because according to the map, this is the way to connect to the next road. Now, if I'm wrong, I've got a 2-kilometer trek back to the main road. That's the wonderful thing about Sri Lanka, is you don't really have detailed maps. And the roads are just roads, but this is really beautiful and scary. I mean, just look at that. But what is living out there is what scares me the most. All right, so let's get back to my story. My story is all about, I don't really want to walk down here. Jesus Christ. Let me figure out what's going on here. Can I walk down here? May Jayala yanda may pare? Jayala. May pare yanwa? May. Oh, thank you. Thank you. All right, yeah. So he said, there's no way to go that way to the road. So, that's a dead end road. Anyway, so how do I work? Well, let me get to the details. Basically, I work online. I'm not a digital nomad because I don't travel from place to place on a laptop. I maintain a stable internet connection at my house. I have a desktop computer set up. And one of the reasons why on my YouTube channel I'm not doing a lot of travel videos is because I can't. I'm working almost 30 hours a week. Sorry, I'm not looking at the camera. I'm watching where I'm walking because there's cow piles everywhere and got to be careful where I'm walking here. Don't twist an ankle. So I am, a permanent digital nomad is maybe more apt to say. I work online teaching English to South Koreans. Now, why do I do that? Well, you guys have heard of the, if you are in this industry, you've heard of VIP Kids, you've heard of those different kinds of companies that teach English online. And you can, earn money by teaching children online anywhere in the world. They will accept you from anywhere in the world. But their rates are $10, $12 an hour. Or $25 an hour at the most. And it's very stressful and a lot of work. I have a very easy job, I'll tell you. Let me tell you. My job is super simple. And the reason is because I've developed a reputation, and I don't teach kids, I teach adults. And I don't teach. One of the things I've developed is a curriculum of English conversation. So basically, a lot of these executives, what they want is they want to be able to speak and improve their current level of English, 1, 2 hours, 3 hours a week. And we just do casual, natural conversation. We talk about business. And because I'm their age, in their age group, because I have business experience, a lot of the times they say they hire me because they see my resume and that I have a tech background. So they like that, and my age, and the amount of time I've spent in Korea. So I have a lot of references, recommendations. But the time zone difference does hurt a little bit. If I have a 6 a.m. class, it's 3 a.m. for me, which means I got to wake up. But I'm not doing anything in Sri Lanka, really. When I first came here, we were in the middle of the crisis, so there wasn't anywhere to go. But then what was the other thing I had? The problem was I had the problem of power outages. I couldn't manage the power outages. So I had to stay in a hotel for 2 weeks until we got the solar power system working. When I got the solar power system working, then I moved back home. So that's what you need to think about when you are deciding on working remotely or working outside of your home country. Now, why did I choose that? As I said, financially. I spend so much less on living expenses that it made financial sense to move. Socially, yeah. I mean, I have family, but I'm missing my friends. There's really not a lot of big social life here for me. Now, the other thing is that psychologically, I was self-isolating in Korea because of COVID. So I got used to staying at home, staying alone, but here, I have my family. So, occasionally we'll go out and visit the cousins and have dinner. Like this weekend, my dad's birthday, so we're going out. Went to Kandy a few weeks ago. In a couple weeks, we're going to Jaffna, up north. So I get to do things, which are a lot of fun for me. Now, I do have a plan in January. I'm going to be announcing that in a couple of weeks. So stay tuned for that. The announcement is going to come by the end of October. I'm going to make the decision in the next couple of weeks. It's going to be a huge decision. I think you're going to like it. But how do you take advantage of it? Well, this is what I do. Here's the tip. I earn money in South Korea at a high salary compared to where I live. So if I did the same job here, I'd be earning 80% less to coincide with the fact that I spend 80% less here. So for example, a Big Mac set in Korea costs about 8,000 won, which is about $6 US. The same Big Mac combo costs about 4,000 won here, about $250 US. So you can see where the difference is. But the earning potential is low as well. So whereas as a VIP host at a club, I was making 3 to 4 million won a month, about 2.5 to 3,000 US dollars a month. Here in Sri Lanka, I'll earn on the top end about 350 to maybe $400 a month. So you can see the huge difference. Which is why I didn't take that club job that I was offered here in Sri Lanka. Full-time work? No, thank you. I make way more doing part-time work. So that's the thing, the dollar exchange. You have to look at that. And setting up the proper bank accounts, setting up the proper transfer accounts, setting up the proper credit cards. The thing I did is I talked to my bank. I said, this is what I'm doing. And they set up the proper bank accounts to allow me to transfer money and use my credit and debit cards with no fees or low fees, low exchange rates. So how do you be successful? You need to take advantage of your citizenship, your visa, and the country you live in. So for example, if you live in North America, follow these digital nomad groups. Get a career or a skill that you can sell. Right now, what everyone is talking about is double dipping. You have digital programmers and web developers who are working 2 full-time jobs. I'm not talking about freelancers. I'm talking about a full-time job, right? They're working 2 full-time jobs. And one of the things I read is that you actually have 2 different systems. You have 2 desks or 2 laptops so that you never mix the 2 together. And you have 2 different email addresses so that you can separate the jobs and not confuse them. One of the things I have to be a little bit careful is that my clients don't know I'm in Sri Lanka. They think I'm in Korea. So I have 2 separate phones. My phone, my Korean phone with my Korean SMS and everything is set to Korean time zone. So when I send out messages, it's time stamped in South Korea. I have a calendar that is set on South Korean time with a Sri Lankan time as well. So I know what time locally I have to do the local time in South Korea. And I have made mistakes, but it's rare because I double, triple, quadruple check. Which reminds me, I have to start getting back home. I have a class in 2 hours. What else do you have to do? I have weather reports, news reports of what's going on in South Korea, so I can, discuss, oh, how was the storm last night, or blah, 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 whatever. So I know what's going on. So to take advantage of the system, if you're Canadian or American, move to a smaller country, Southeast Asia. Everybody's talking about it. Now, this is where you can start to get into information that is readily available online by all these other YouTubers who are doing it, all right? I'm talking about my specific situation where I'm living here in Sri Lanka and I have a South Korean visa. My Canadian passport I don't really use. The only reason I use that is to travel. It allows me to travel a lot easier under a Canadian passport. If you are a foreigner and you can get a South Korean visa and then travel outside of South Korea, you can definitely make a ton of money because the salary in South Korea is very high because of the cost of living. But the cost of living is very low in Sri Lanka. So the money I earn in South Korea pays more than enough for my life here in Sri Lanka, plus my savings into my retirement fund. So what might take you 10 years to do, I'm going to do in less than 2. So that's what I suggest you look into if you're keenly interested. Now, can you do it with a family? Yes, it's going to be much harder if you have a family. I'm single, I have no children, and I have 0 debt. That is the most important thing, is I have no debt. I don't have to worry about paying bills. I don't have to worry about commitments or living in one place. I can travel as much as I want, just based on my work. So, if you have any questions, let me know. Join my Discord server or click on the link down below, or post in the comments any questions you might have as to any advice that I can help you with, because it is a truly stress-free life, as you can see. Everyone stay safe, stay happy. Sri Lanka Sammi, living life. Don't let life live you. I'm out.